Hey guys, Jimmy Cavanaugh joined by Andy Brunner from Assembly Hall after another win for Indiana. 88-52 is the final over Florida Atlantic. There was some good stuff on offense, good stuff on defense, stuff to improve, and an update on Jeremy Hollowell. But first, Andy, let's talk about what we saw on offense. These guys shot 62% essentially in the first half, 8 for 8 from the free throw line, 5 of 9 from 3. It was 55-25 at the half. This game was over in the first 20 minutes.
Right. They did everything that we expected them to in the first half and more. Can't quite expect the numbers they put up against Mount St. Mary's, but they hit pretty close to it in the first half.
Hey, you're not going to shoot 70% from the floor every game, even against teams like Florida Atlantic. But they played really efficient offensive basketball. I put out the numbers, but you got to let those sink in. 55 points in the first half was incredibly impressive, and there were a lot of guys who had something to do with that. Cody Zeller had, I think, 12 of 13 from the free throw line. The team only missed one foul shot total. Watford had 17. Oladipo had 16. Just a really good, well-rounded effort from the Hoosiers.
Very effective from the free throw line. Spread the ball around. A lot of players in double figures. Cody had 24 points in 22 minutes. Can't get more effective than that.
Not really. And there was also some good offensive contribution from Hunter Mosquera-Perea. Not so much on the scoring side because he has apparently hands of stone. He was looking ahead to absolutely bringing down Assembly Hall a couple times. He had some, in the words of Tom Crean, Sports Center plays on the mind, but he didn't look the ball into his hands first, but still 10 rebounds. We saw some good work on the boards overall. A 41 total for IU, only 28 for Florida Atlantic. And Perea with his 10 rebounds in 12 minutes. I mean, he's going to be a really big part of this team going forward. Tom Crean said as much. What did you see from him that you liked?
Right. Also very effective in the minutes he played. Stone hands. He'll work on that, I'm sure. But no, very effective on the defensive end. Kind of lost in transition in offense. But as Tom Crean starts to filter in these new players that are coming in from injuries with Derek Elliston or the suspension of Jerkin and Perea, I think you'll see them become more relaxed and effective.
And let's look at what we did, what we saw them do on the defensive side as well, because Florida Atlantic, not a tremendously talented team, but still 34% shooting, and most of their points came from Greg Gant, almost 50% actually. Victor Oladipo was talking about him very highly as a talented offensive player, but they weren't able to get a lot of good shots, especially when the game mattered. Like I said, 55-25, that's all you need to know. There were some negatives, though, and if you look at the second half, because Florida Atlantic shot about 33% in the second, so did IU. Not the best offensive performance in the second, and we didn't hear a whole lot about that from Crean after the game.
Right. Lack of motivation coming in after halftime, being up by 30, 55-25. Hard to get up and play when you're already winning by 30 and clear out the bench, play with them guys. But no, they lost a little focus, but it's hard not to when you're up 30.
Nothing wrong with that necessarily. It's something that you don't want to see when you're playing big-time competition, and it's something definitely to keep an eye on going forward. But this team has been all about their edge. They lost a little bit of it, it looked like, in the second half. They played well defensively, but they didn't get the same looks to the rim. They didn't get the same shots to fall. The other thing, too, the assist ratio was a little troubling. 11 assists on 28 baskets.
Right, that was a little low. I think they settled for some jumpers that they probably shouldn't have in the second half. But like I said, that's what happens when you're up 30 in the second half. It starts the second half. The game's already locked up, but they need to find the killer instinct. And they need to play a whole 40-minute game.
So what's your evaluation of this game, what the IU was able to do? Florida Atlantic, again, not a upper echelon team. A lot of people were excited about Perea, about what you saw from Cody Zeller. It's a Sun Belt team, folks, and not a great one at that. But that being said, we did see some positives. What overall grade would you give the Hoosiers for their performance here tonight?
I'll give them a B+. It is hard to evaluate the team when you're playing lower competition, Sun Belt Conference, not exactly the Big Ten, but it's hard to evaluate them, but they did do some very good things today. They also did some negatives, but you can't complain. 30-point halftime lead, 33-point victory. It's hard to nitpick at some things.
And you and I were talking about during the game the fact that IU has played a really soft schedule this year, especially in the non-conference. The toughest game has been either North Carolina or Butler, and neither of those, North Carolina particularly, didn't really live up to the hype of what they were supposed to do this year. Butler able to beat IU on a neutral court.
Right.
Neither of those games you can really take away as much as fans would have liked at the beginning of the year. So really we're looking at a situation where IU just has not had the strength of schedule this year, which makes it a little harder to evaluate, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's very correct. The strength of the schedule, it's been pretty disappointing for me personally. Butler is always going to be a tough game in Indianapolis, though it was a neutral court and not at Hinkle. North Carolina didn't really fit the bill that they were supposed to. I think they came in maybe a little overrated. Maybe they're still trying to find themselves with some new pieces, but no, it's been a very lackluster strength of schedule, to say the least.
And it doesn't get any tougher next game against Jacksonville on the 28th.
Right.
Andy, what can you tell us about Jacksonville? Because frankly, I can't really tell you anything about Jacksonville right now.
I believe Jacksonville is located in Florida, and that might
I think it's the capital, too.
That might be it.
Is Jacksonville the capital of Florida?
I couldn't tell you. My fifth grade teacher's probably disappointed.
We'll get back to you on
I'm
that,
sorry.
folks. Other than that, not a whole lot on Jacksonville. Quick update on Jeremy Hollowell, too, by the way. Tom Crean came in front of everybody at the assembled media holding a note card that he read off of verbatim, saying that he's dealing with a personal, private issue and that he will not address it further, that the team has their full support behind him, and that's about all we're going to get on that matter.
That's it. It was a prepared statement. It was a personal, private matter going on with the Hollowell family. He said it has nothing to do with academics or team rules, and he didn't give us a time frame when or if he returns.
Indefinite. It was an indefinite time frame, like you said. He's not going to be talking anymore about it. And I doubt there are people in the IU media who are all too keen to press that envelope. But we will keep you posted on updates regarding that. As it is, let the speculation commence, folks, because we don't have anything new for you here.
No, we don't.
But I guess without any further ado, Andy, any final thoughts on either tonight's game, looking at Jacksonville, or even Tom Crean's Christmas shopping, which he addressed?
Tom Crean, hey, he's done with his Christmas shopping. That's more than I can say.
Same here.
But he is going to give the players a few days off. He said that they'll return to practice late Tuesday night in preparation for their Friday night battle with Jacksonville.
We'll see how they look then. Until then, for Andy Brunner, I'm Jimmy Cavanaugh saying good night, travel well, folks. Thanks for watching. We will catch you next time. So long.